Ops. Women's basketball opens up on Thursday night over on the Plains against Auburn, but we welcome in head coach Anita Howard. Coach, appreciate you joining us.
Woo, that's my fans back there.
I hear you.
Hey, Colin. Hey, Dan.
You started off against Auburn. Year number 3 for you. What's it been like kind of growing this program to what you've got right now?
It's been a whirlwind, actually, I got brought in by TK, then we brought in a new AD, so that was something new and different. Then a whole pandemic hit, so that was something new and different. And so I like to say going in year 3, nothing can be any more different or difficult. And so this is my 501, I guess. So
we always hear that year 3 is the year for a staff to make its move. Year 1 is the get acclimated. Year 2 is the make a little push, but it's really year 3 where the results starting to show through. How do you feel your position to make this move in year 3?
Yeah, and I am excited to see that. So although we've gone through, some bumps and bruises along the way, for the most part, we have just about everyone we recruited on our roster. We have a solid staff in place, had some new staff join us not too long ago. So I'm excited to see, the young ladies that I brought in to play the style of basketball that I would like to see kind of just come to fruition. The chemistry amongst the girls. We just left out of practice a little while ago. And it's funny because I was talking to one of my coaches and I said, I remember year 1, our gym was kind of quiet. Now I like a loud, of course, if you know me, I like a loud gym. We even took a trip down to a field trip down to Coach Berg's practice last year and just listened to their gym. And I was like, listen, if you want a winning gym, it has to be one that's communicating, one that's, motivating. And so now we're hearing that in our practice. And so you're seeing some of the culture take its shape going into year 3 of what you would want to see.
Talk about your staff a little bit. You talked about a couple of new additions, but first and foremost, today Chris Straker's birthday, so happy birthday to Coach Straker.
Yes, I got to give a happy birthday to you. Did that sound good?
Yeah. You always know when it's a birthday on the road, especially with women's basketball, you're going to get sung happy birthday.
Does that happen to you?
Yeah.
Well, my birthday's in the summer, so it's not really.
Well, they got to make
there.
up for it, don't they? I know it's 5 months later, but don't they have to make up for it?
Happy belated birthday to you.
You're halfway to the next one, but they can get both of them, maybe.
What is it, when you were a kid, you had half birthdays?
Yeah.
Yes, and make sure you say I'm 13 and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm trying to knock numbers off, not add halves to it.
All right. I told my husband, I said, I've been actually lying about my age for no apparent reason that I really forgot how old I did turn on my birthday.
But you've got Chris Straker that has been with you ever since you got to Georgia Southern. You added Deontay McChester last year. This year you've got 2 new additions to the staff and Coach Tia and then Warren Gooseby for the Director of Basketball Ops. What do those 2 bring to this staff?
Coach Lewis, she's one of my former players, so I'm starting, I guess, my coaching tree. I didn't think I would want to bring in a coach without any experience at the collegiate level. As a younger coach, I just say I'm a younger coach, but I wanted someone that had experience. But I thought about it, and Coach Lewis is a phenomenal player. She's a phenomenal person, and she's won at the high school level. And I said, hey, I thought going into year 3. We kind of have this thing going where we want it to go. It would be okay to bring in someone. And she actually renewed our get to. We get to be Division I coaches. Like everything we do, she's like, wow. And she's so amazed and so blown away. And, she did her first scout and she took us back to when we had our first scout. And she just makes you just appreciate everything that we get to do on a daily basis. And then, of course, Warren Gooseby, he's our new ops, something different. He's a former head coach. We went from a true operations to a operations person who has more of a basketball mindset. And he's been a pleasant to work with, just him knowing Georgia Southern. He's a double eagle. He's his personality is so opposite of mine. You need a little bit of the yin to the yang a little bit. He's so laid back and real mild-mannered, but he brings a lot to the table, very organized, very professional. And so he's a great addition to bring an Eagle back home.
Talk about going into the season. What excites you most about the group that you've got going to hit the hardwood against Auburn this week?
Our ability to compete. Right now, we have pretty much won through our walk-on. We just brought a walk-on in who we made it out of tryouts, but we are competing at every single position, and so everybody wants to be great. That's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing at times, but I love the fact that, they're not complaining, they're just competing. And then, of course, we get to play inside of hopefully a packed Tanner. So our exhibition game, we had, a nice sized crowd for our exhibition game, and it makes competitors want to compete even more. And so I'm excited to have Hanner Fieldhouse hopefully back at capacity, and then just us competing at every level.
You saw it when it was full capacity the year before, but last year to go through COVID, only have a couple of hundred people in there at a time, bringing so many new players in. They may not see or be able to feel what it's like when that place is rocking.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And to have people that show up more so when they have more fans in the stands, I think that's going to show a different side of even what we're seeing in practice when you have that many people. That Georgia State game, I mean, even me as a coach, to walk in there, usually at a women's game, you have a couple hundred people. A couple thousand, we'll just ad-lib a little bit, but a couple hundred people at our games. But to walk in to see Hanner at full capacity, It is breathtaking. And our fans are passionate, so they are making it very difficult for our opponents. And so that almost is something that you really can't scout. When teams are coming in here and then they have to go against the Hanner hooligans, or you have your people sitting courtside, you have to turn down for what guy, he's dancing and having a good time over there. The atmosphere is none like that I've been a part of, and so I'm excited to see it hopefully be like that every single home night.
There's a couple of individual players I wanted to touch on with you, but the first one, Lydia Freeman. You look at the exhibition against Allen last week, 14 points, 13 rebounds, and she is somebody that has worked her butt off this offseason to get to where she is now. Being able to see what she's gone through this year, this offseason, how excited are you for what she's going to be able to do this year?
I don't think I've seen a more improved player over a short amount of time like Lydia Freeman. I knew her upside would be really great, but I didn't know it would come as quickly as she's now showing us. She did. She stayed here all summer. And, of course, being from Atlanta, Georgia, she could have easily went home any day and went home for the summer. But she stayed. She wanted to make a difference for this team. And, Allen, I don't even think we've seen the best version of Lydia now. Today, she came in and got some extra workout with one of our practice guys who's 6'5", and, he's beating her up and she's taking it. She just has a different mentality right now, and it's exciting to see because she's not only 6'5", she's strong, she keeps the ball high, and so she has yet to tap her ceiling. But for her to want to be better, and she's only a sophomore, is very exciting.
It was another thing to see 24 assists. To be able to see that kind of ball sharing before you even get into the regular season, that had to be pleasing.
Yeah, and that's one of the things the coaches and I have harped on is sharing the ball. If we say that we're competitive 1 through 15, it's selfish if you take a bad shot, if you're fading away, if you shoot over a double team. And we talk about that and we harp on, listen, we got to make the one more pass, the extra pass, and we literally say one more. And so I was really pleased, to see, because that was one of the areas that I thought we needed to improve in is sharing the basketball and getting an open, good look. Everyone has the green light for me. So I don't say, hey, let's get the ball to Taryn Ward or let's get the ball to this young lady. Everyone has the green light. You just got to take a shot that you can make, and I want it to be the good shot.
You talk about Taryn Ward, the Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year a year ago. What about her game has kind of taken it to the next level this year?
Her mindset. So she's been blessed with an athletic ability that she can play the 1 through the 4 if she wants, and you will see her at the point guard position this year. So I got to keep my heels on with that one, but she actually she's really good. She has a natural knack for the game of basketball. So what we've challenged Taryn with is to have a different kind of mindset. Coming from Wayne County, Jessup, she was everything for them. She almost inbounded the ball to herself, passed it to herself, rebounded. She did everything. And we told her she didn't have to do that here. And so now she's understanding how to use her teammates and how that makes her that much more open. And so just a mindset of it is different. Now the target is on your back. You are on scouting reports. It's not your freshman year where you're unknown. And she's come in and put the work in. Now she didn't stay all summer. She went down to Miami and had a blast. But I do think you have to kind of just rest and relax, especially after that pandemic that she went through.
Got a number of new players on this team. Who are some of the ones that stand out for you? And I know you like to play a lot of people. Who are the ones that you're going to see this year?
Yeah, it's a lot, and I'm going to open up with her because on another interview I forgot, our Penn State transfer, Constance Thomas. recruited her out of high school. We lost her to Penn State, but of course we got her back. She was in the portal, and she has untapped potential. She's going to be a heck of a point guard for us. On the defensive end, which I'm a defensive coach, she can lock up anybody. And so I'm excited to see her take the floor. We brought in 2 more transfers, Rachel Johnson and Tanaya Marks, both JUCO. Rachel transferred from Wichita State, but she went to Chipola, who's a national powerhouse, and Tanaya came from Shelton State, another national powerhouse. That just brings a level of experience to our roster. Tanaya's on the inside. I mean, she takes charges. She tries to take 5 or 6 charges a game if she could. And so as a defensive coach, that's exciting to see. And then Rachel, I mean, she's a strong, stout guard, super scrappy on offense, super scrappy on defense. And you saw her against Allen. I mean, she's going to be one to watch. And, it's funny because she only played, I think, 15 minutes in the Allen game, but had 11 points. And, she can come in and make it happen quick. And it's not all about offense with her. And then we had one of my former players that played with me at Columbus State. I told her that she took me to a championship at Columbus State. She needs to take me to a championship here. Is Taya Gibson. She set out last year when she transferred in, and she's ready to grow, and she's ready to go. She actually just cracked the lineup, and so she's an undersized post, but she finishes like one of the best post players I've seen as an undersized post player. But those are just a few. We do have Hannah. She got into the scrimmage, knocked down a 3, but because of Eden, they counted it off because it was an offensive foul. But she's a lights out shooter. She can shoot it. And one of the things we worked on, of course, is our tempo of the game. And then one person that we didn't see in the exhibition is a 6'4" grad transfer from Wake Forest, Maya Banks. Maya, she's a rim protector, has a beautiful stroke from the inside and out. And so we're excited to see her. She's getting back into practice, getting, swing of things. And so I'm hoping Lane says I can have her for like a few minutes at Auburn. But we're waiting to get the okay from that. But she's a really solid leader for us. And so having a semi-young team, we're not as young as we were last year, she comes in and brings a lot of experience for us.
You talk about the leadership on this team. You name the 2 team captains in Basa and Naya. Talk about those 2 and what they really give you on this team. 2
different ways, 2 different leaders. Basa, I love Basa. Didn't recruit her, but I feel like I did. Like, she is a true and true fighter. Like, she fights for everything, and it's not about playing time with her. She's a great teammate. She's a great leader. And I tell the team, everyone can't be a scorer on this team. You have to have those intangible players, those intangible things from players that make up the championship team, and she does that. We always say we got to check on Basa because every day she's going to say, I'm fine, I'm good, and be happy and motivating, everybody. But she used to be the one that we gave a shout out to work the hardest, and now she's made people come up to her level as far as her work ethic. And so her leadership, she leads vocally, she leads by example. And Love, I don't call her Janiyah, I call her Love, aka the brain. She's the brain of the team. She was the quietest thing. Now, she don't say a lot, but when she do, people listen. So she's a small little feisty leader, and she leads by example. I mean, she's a gritty player. She's tough-minded. She knows everything. She's very comfortable in her position. I say she has a middle school-looking body. Don't look like she's a college basketball player at all. But she's our fearless leader. She'll go into any battle. She'll go up against any post player, and so she helps us. I told her she gives us fear muscle. She leads our battle.
One thing that I know that you really like is up-tempo style of basketball. You get 81 shots off against Allen. I'd imagine that's more of what you're looking for to go forward this year.
Yeah, I think it needs to be 100, though. I know it sounds crazy, but they thought Walt Disney was crazy until he made Disney World, right?
That's true.
It's not crazy until you do it. We want to strive to have 100 possessions. So I know it sounds like a lot, but we want to get down the court and let our transition offense be our offense as much as possible. Of course, we do have a half-court set, which people are thinking like, okay, when do you slow it down? Well, you slow it down if you force us to slow it down. If not, we're trying to throw that thing from free throw line to free throw line and get layups after layups. But tempo is big for us. I think it's an exciting brand of basketball. It fits my personality because I don't want to be sitting still too long. And it allows us to play a lot of players. I always tell our starters, you should go in, play as hard as you can. get tired, and then we bring another 5 in. And so it fits to the style of what we want to play.
Almost feels like you're going platoon system a little bit with you 5 go, you 5 come out, line change, you 5 go in, then you 5 go.
Yeah, it's a funny story. Taryn Ward was going to start for us, and she actually took herself out of the lineup and said, I think I play better with this 5. Who takes themselves out of a lineup? Only Taryn.
I was about to say that would be Taryn, though.
But I do. So I do sub in, 5 out. But we also have a defensive group. We also have a scoring group. We got a group that knows the actual offenses that we can put in, an execution group. But we might sub in 1 or 2 pieces depending on who's on the floor. But for that exhibition game, I want to see just different combinations.
When you look at what you're going up against with Auburn coming up on Thursday, what's the biggest thing? I know it's a completely new staff, not a whole lot to go off of, but what's the biggest thing going into Auburn on Thursday night?
Well, coaches say all the time, it's not about them, it's about us. Literally, we have to make it about us because we don't know what they are going to do. We know who they'll, some of their returners, and we have some clips of them, but they're in a new system under a new staff. And they're going to be much better. Coach Harris, came from national championship programs. So she's at Texas, Mississippi State. So she's going to have them playing as hard as she can get them to play. But, it's going to be about us. We want to play teams that are going to challenge us. We had a close scrimmage against North Florida, who they feel like they will win the ASUN this year. They picked second. And so we want to compete because the Sun Belt is not getting any easier as you see the additions. So, we want to play the SEC opponent and see how we fare out. But it's going to be about us out the gate to see what they're doing because we didn't have a lot of film on what they're actually going to do.
How excited are you to finally get it going?
If I can think of a word, I can make up a word.
You're all about making up the words.
Excitabilis fabuloso. That sounded like a cleaning word, didn't it?
I don't know. Somebody's got to figure out how to spell that because we need it on a T-shirt.
Excitabilis.
Ooh, Excitabilis.
Excitabilis.
That's fantastic.
We'll get William to make a shirt.
Oh, no doubt. Southern Exchange will have that in 2 days.
With a bobblehead of clay.
Oh, no doubt. Coach, really appreciate the time. Really looking forward to what the season holds for Georgia Southern women's basketball, and we'll catch up with you on Thursday over at Auburn.
Thank you. Good luck to 501.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Once again, that's Eagle head coach Anita Howard for Georgia Southern women's basketball. You want to talk about energy? You want to talk about excitement? We talked about it with Chad Willis a couple weeks ago, but Anita Howard is excitement, is energy, is D, all of the above.
Excitabuloso. Did I get that right?
I think that's the Spanish version of it, but yes.
Oui.
No, that's not it.
Muy. Muy.
I think you just made your own language.
No, muy bueno.